Hey, greetings and salutations, everybody. I wanted to take a minute to explain to everybody what you're going to need if you are upgrading your ps5's solid state drive inside using that expansion slot. Um, there's a few issues you got to realize. You can't just go to Walmart and buy any M2 drive and shove it in there. It's not going to work. Um, so, for what's available right now, there are four that are on the market that are approved that you can use. Um, just be aware that they are not cheap. So when you go to do your upgrade, make sure you're getting the right ones. Not all M2s will work. The big thing that you've got to look out for is going to be your thicknesses, because with the heat sink and everything that you have to put in there, a lot of them are not going to fit. The second big thing you have to look at is the write speed and read speeds. Sequential read speed of 5,500 megabytes or faster. Realistically, there's not a whole lot of them that are that fast on the market anyway. I mean, you guys now they're basically requiring you to get gaming, like expensive gaming PC hard drives. So, for example, like the 980 Pro from Samsung, for the 1 terabyte version is $180, and they're sold out. They also come in, I believe, like a 2 terabyte, which is like even more expensive, and then the 500 gig. I'm not sure if it meets the read and write specs or not, but I do know this one does fit. And by the way, that's a refurbished price. So getting these new is not going to be easy right now. Then you've got the Patriot Viper 1 terabyte. Like I said, with a heat sink and that on them, this one I know will work. There's only 3 left in stock right now, but they're $300 a pop for 1 terabyte. The next one up is the Seagate Fire Cuda. They're all out of stock. It doesn't matter which one you pick. They're all out of stock right now, and there's no prices to be listed with the heatsink. But to get the 530 without the heatsink, the 1 terabyte is out of stock. 2 terabyte out of stock. 500 gigabyte out of stock. 4 terabyte out of stock. So, I mean, there's no real time. I mean, I don't know when they're going to be available again. But what's required to upgrade, and I don't even know what the price on these actually are, because there's no way to find out really. Like, I mean, I can kind of guess, but it's, I would bet it's probably $300 or $400. I would think, because it's 7,000 megabytes per second. I mean, that's incredibly fast. The 500 gigabyte. Again, in this one, you'll have to put your own heatsink on. So when you get your heatsink, you got to make sure that it's very, very thin, because there's not a lot of room inside that bay for that. So you're really gonna have to watch for that when you put your heatsinks in. And yes, the heatsinks are required. If you do not put a heatsink on your hard drive and you put it in there, these little suckers get hot, real hot. I've got the 970 Evo in my gaming PC, and I am telling you now, I have a heatsink on mine, and it's hot. It gets hot. And if you do not put a heatsink on this thing and you put it in there, you're gonna overheat. You're gonna cause some problems. I mean, I'm not gonna say things are gonna melt and catch fire. That's a bit extreme, but I'm definitely thinking you could heat your motherboard to where the red rings of death on the Xbox 360 that way too many people had. It was from heat. What it did is it caused the motherboard to get too hot, and then it warps. And once it warps, it dies. Things stop connecting properly, and you start having issues. There's ways to fix that, yes, but I mean, you just bought if you got it at retail, you got it for $500 plus tax. Do you really want to go out and like have to like take your motherboard out, put it in the oven, wrapped in a towel, flipped upside down, and superheat that like people were doing with their Xboxes to fix it? I don't think you do. So again, you have to use a heatsink or you will do damage to your PlayStation. And trust me, you don't want to go out and try to find more PlayStations. Nobody wants to rebuy any of that stuff. You can get it with a heatsink on it. And that, for the 500 gigabyte, is basically $200. They're on sale right now for $163, but their regular price on them is $199. The 1 terabyte, let's see all buying options. Let's see what we got. We got $622. Ouch. Damn. For a 1 terabyte hard drive, $600. More than your console. Yeah, for everybody that thought Sony was going to be consumer friendly with their NVMEs, they thought they could just go get, a cheapo, $50 one or $100 one from Walmart and be straight. No, that's not the case. It's going to be far more expensive for you to upgrade your hard drive on your PlayStation than a lot of people realized, and a lot more expensive. Let's just for the hell of it, let's see what they charge for the 2 terabyte. Oh, $700 and $800. Wow. See, I don't price these because I don't need one this fast. I mean, realistically, mine runs at like, I don't know, I want to say like 3,500 or so. 3,500, I think, is what mine runs at. But, it's a shame you can't just use one like mine. That you've got to get, Yeah, like you can get my 500 gig for $95. I mean, I don't know. I mean, actually, I think mine's the 970 Pro. But still, yeah. I mean, it's one of those things that no, because I've got an Evo, so I think mine's the Evo Plus. I think this one's mine. I'd have to take my heatsink off to be for sure, but yeah, I think it's this one. But yeah, the read speeds and write speeds aren't fast enough for the PlayStation to basically recognize it. See, yeah, 3,500. And the again, like I said, the PlayStation requires you to have 5,500. That's what's going to be your killer. That's what's going to be you're paying a ton of money to have a few seconds less loading screen. And when I say a few seconds, I literally mean like 2 to 3 seconds. It's not going to overall help a whole lot. As far as like there's no reason they couldn't have done it to where it is simply just a standard M2. There was no reason that they had to force everyone to get these super fast, super overpriced, expensive hard drives. There's no reason for it, and it's not really fair to the consumer at all. And to also to put it in perspective for people, because I know people are going to be like, well, Xbox has expandable stuff, and you got to buy their things too. And yeah, you do, but you don't have to play the guessing games. You don't have to play the guessing games with it as far as, what one can I use? Where do I have, do I have to put a heat sink on it? Do I not? How fast does it have to be? All these other little requirements, to where, like, you don't need, there's none of that with the Xbox. The Series X, you can literally just buy the 1 terabyte or 2 terabyte, 4 terabyte, 8 terabyte drives, specifically for the Series X, but in Series X and S. But like for the expansion cards, the 1 terabyte expansion card is $220. Well, that's not available. But the 970 for 1 terabyte, then you've got to buy your heatsink for it, since it doesn't have one with it, which heatsinks are pretty cheap. But yeah, I mean, to go for 1 terabyte, and the thing is that's on sale. So if you're gonna upgrade, oh wait, that's for mine. Ha, that's why it's cheaper. Okay. Sorry everybody, I'm having a brain fart. All right, here we go. So yeah, for like this one, you can't get either one. Like, they're just not available. So when you look at some of these, for the Western Digital Black, for example, with heatsink, for the 1 terabyte, is going to cost you $620. And again, like I said, for the Xbox, your 1 terabyte is $220 flat out, and there's no guesswork. This just pops into the back of the console and just slides into its own little specialized slot. And again, I mean, these prices are insane. They're only getting away with this for these prices because they know they're the only ones that got them. Like, there's not, you could probably get a Call of Duty Special Edition. What are they charging for that? $210. So pretty close to the same price, but you still got to put a heatsink on it that will take away your whole Call of Duty Cold War thing in the first place. So, like, I don't know. I think the prices are insane for what you're getting. The 500 gig is basically $200 regular price. The 2 terabytes going to cost, not available. What do we got here? $800, $700 for 2 terabytes. I mean, that's insane. But hey, I guess if that's the choice you made in console, then that's kind of what you're stuck dealing with, is what they decide, because it's all proprietary. You can't just choose and throw in what you want. It won't work, and you risk damaging your machine. They're gonna have to do something. They better put a sticker or something that says ps5 compliant on these chips, because if they don't, I think a lot of parents are going to get the wrong chips. I think a lot of younger kids are going to get the wrong things. And they're going to either end up spending way more money than they need to, or they're going to end up buying the wrong thing, putting it in, and damaging their system. Again, this is one of those things I'm curious to see how it pans out when it actually comes, because right now it's only in beta stage. But the requirements, the physical requirements for the slot will not change. So no matter what, you're still going to be looking at one of these insane hard drives to upgrade your PlayStation 5. And yeah, I don't have either of the new consoles at this point. I refuse to pay scalper prices, and I've had PS4 Pro, PS4, PS3, PS2, PS1. I mean, I've had every PlayStation product known to man. Vitas, PSPs. Oh, I miss my PSP. That was so nice. But anyway, that's a whole different topic. But yeah, I think for parents, you're really expecting a lot for some of these parents that don't game or don't build PCs, that have no idea what the hell people that need help setting up their phones are not going to be able to figure out what hard drive is the right one. And if you don't specify when you walk into Best Buy and say, I need a PlayStation 5, a M2 drive, they're going to give you if you just say, I just need an M2 drive, they're going to give you, a basic thing, to try to save you a few bucks. That's their job, kind of. I mean, yeah, they're supposed to sell the more expensive stuff, but they try to keep, most places try to keep it within what the person's actually going to use. They don't try to oversell. I mean, they do to a point, but not. It's not like buying a car, okay? If you walk into Best Buy and say, hey, I need an M2 drive for, and tell them what it's for, PlayStation 5 or whatever. If you tell them it's for a PlayStation 5, they already know on their shelf what is for the PlayStation 5, and they'll go, okay, these are the 4 that you can choose from. This one's, $299, this one's $499, this one's $899, whatever the hell the prices may be. They'll tell you, like, what price range are you looking at, because that'll determine how big of a hard drive you get. Period. Is how much are you willing to spend for that little bit of hard drive space. And I'm sorry, but $600 and $700, $800 for hard drives for a game console is ridiculous. I didn't even spend that when I got this hard drive brand new, and this was like like $200 or something for a 500 gig NVMe, but I've had mine for 3 years. I mean, you guys are just now being forced into that market, and you're really unwillingly thrown into it, and I think that's wrong. And I think Sony is expecting an awful lot from parents and an awful lot from young kids to figure out which ones of these hard drives that come out, and they constantly are launching new hard drives all the time. If you just type in M2, M.2 SSD on Amazon, you will get tons. Let's go and see how many pages we got here. 400 freaking pages of NVMEs. And there's only like 4 of these that'll actually work. So out of 400 pages of SSD stuff, 4 items will work. 4 types. That's it. And I think it's really it's going to put a strain on people to try to figure out the right ones. And I mean, potentially, if it's just like putting an unformatted hard drive into your computer now, you could brick your system with it. If you use the wrong speeds and the wrong thing and everything else, and you shove that in there and you turn that on, you could brick your system very well. I mean, I don't know how their architecture's set up. I haven't done any real hands-on or teardowns with them or anything. I haven't done any of that software side, try to open them up or anything. But I'm just telling you now, it's going to be a lot more complicated than people think. And they're going to have to find some way of making it easier for people to find the ones for the PlayStation 5. I mean, if they have to put them in the same aisle as the PlayStation 5 at stores, I mean, I would recommend that. Just put the ones that are compatible right next to the damn unit, and then people can buy it together. That's what I would do. But I ain't in charge of shit, so it's not like they're going to listen to me. So it's going to be basically, you're going to go into an electronics department in whatever store is around you, and you're going to tell them you need an NVMe. But you're not going to be, if you don't tell them it's for the PlayStation 5, they can totally give you the wrong one. And it's not their fault. It's because you didn't specify. I mean, right now, look at all these brands. Look at all these brands right here. And I mean, right now, you've got Western Digital makes one. Seagate made one, I think. Or no, Samsung makes the one. And then Seagate makes the Xbox stuff. And then you've got, what were the other two? Western Digital. But yeah, I mean, Tom's Hardware did a great breakdown of this, of which ones are available and which whatever. But yeah, you've got the Seagate Fire Cuda. You've 530, which I don't know what the price on that's actually going to be. There's no none of them are available or anything. I can't find one, so I don't know. And then you've got like the Patriot Viper. You're sitting at $300. And I can't tell if that's a heat sink. No, that's not the heat sink, because there's what the heat sink looks like with it. So you'd still have to have the heat sink. It might come with it. I don't know. Let's see here. 2 optional heat shields included. Aluminum heat shield and graphene heat shield. The aluminum will be better, but I don't know if it's going to be too thick to be able to, do that. But again, you're looking at almost $100 more than what it is to upgrade on an Xbox to the same hard drive size. So, and then again, going to the 2 terabyte, it jumps you to $788. Wow. That is, yeah. Wow. Oh no, that's definitely a wow, a wow for me. $800 to get a 2 terabyte hard drive is crazy. But yeah, I think I'm gonna end the video here. Leave your questions, comments, down below, and I always check them. I always check them all. So, if you enjoy the content, like, subscribe. I do different things all the time, and I've got a surprise for everybody real soon. I'm gonna be doing something pretty crazy with the rig that I have yet to see anybody really try to do it. So it will definitely be a YouTube. I think a YouTube first, maybe. We'll see. Because I'm sure somebody's probably tried it somewhere. I just haven't come across their video. But yeah, I'm going to try to do something kind of crazy. And if it can be done, then yeah, we'll all find out together. How about that? I'm just waiting on some other parts and stuff to get here to do it. So, yeah, that's a cool surprise coming soon. Very soon. Hopefully this week or next week. But, yeah, sorry it's been so long from doing videos. I've just been kind of taking a break, waiting to get, some stuff together to get, get a decent little bit of content for everybody. Kind of wait for some things to shake out, to be able to talk about them. So, with that, thanks for checking everything out. Peace, everybody.